Thokozani, I'm Povadimu and I welcome you to my channel and thank you so much for choosing to view my video. Today I'll be talking about balancing spirituality, or rather balancing our spiritual lives. I always say it's important for one to understand themselves, but it's very important because you avoid having all these breakdowns, these spiritual or rather mental breakdowns. We tend to go through, people tend to go through, and it's important to always understand your place, as a healer, and understand who you are and how things work, and understand that you've taken upon a different responsibility and a different life that needs a different So I'll go back to Thokozani. We are strenuous months, frustrating months, and you're happy to go home and you're happy to go back to your life, and you're like, oh, I'm done, like no more walking barefoot, like my life. And you go back to your life, and you go back to your life, but ni sangoma, not going back to your life as a sangoma or a healer, or I'll use the terms loosely because I'm trying to, get the juices going and get you understanding where I'm going, That's often the biggest mistake, because from a patient, you're being trained this new lifestyle, yako, this new life that you've been given, or rather this new life that you are, because remember, this is not a job, this is not a 9 to 5. You don't get to take some time out, you don't get off days, once you are spiritually gifted, and once you go through the processes and the phases, automatically your spiritual eyes, your everything, you incline to nature, you incline to energies, you incline to people, and there is no way like you do not go through a day without getting in touch, like the Wi-Fi is open, because even when you're sleeping, the Wi-Fi is open, you're dreaming, you're getting visions, you're getting all these things. So it can sometimes get just a little too much, for this physical body, and that is where we lose it, because you need to keep the balance going, or else you're going to lose yourself. And that is why there are people that feel as if ungoma is not for them, or spiritual life is not for them, or this life is just too demanding. It's not demanding, it's you've been given the tools, you've been given the training. Why change your life? I'll elaborate on that quickly before I end the video. So now people will as say abantu abadala who are gifted, we go through the phases, we go through the most. The people about because of my headaches, you get headaches, actually, let me just not say there are people, we get headaches. You get a headache, you're like, oh, I have this bad headache, let me take some paracetamol, and you take that paracetamol, and I end the next thing, it's, oh, let me think she's in bed, let me burn some snake, or you feel like pain, in your body, or you feel cold, terribly, like super cold, or all these things. Now, let me tell you, Lana, like all of this, we are renting, we are spirit beings. I always say that. And all these things, as in Zegalayo, Gitim, it's to show that sometimes we think, we like I can chill and forget about my other life, and not knowing that you are your life. Listen, you are your gift. Your gift is you. Like, can we just get that going? Not understanding that ang twasanga because I had to do it, but ang twase because I was following my gift ubizolami, and this is my purpose. So the reason you uzoba nama physical inflictions lower, it's not because sometimes when the headaches comes, it's your system. Think of yourself as like late gadgets, Lena. Sometimes when you get headaches, your system is downloading and rebooting and refreshing itself, unknowingly, because unaware, and sometimes you find already you're downloading information from your ancestors, and sometimes you do not hear it at the time, but what happens is that you dream when you're sleeping, then the messages comes and all of that. So you find that during the day you're feeling sleepy like hell, and you can't sleep because like it's during the day. Hello, you at work or whatever the case might be, or you get these bad headaches, so all these things happen differently to different people. Even with ubola, I'm trying to show you that you like we we networking avala, you're always inclined to something or someone, siyabodla because of the energies inside us, umoya lo, we always siyabodla because think of everyone as uhamane Ariel. So immediately when that, you pass something, or you have, or something is gathering information in your system, that is you receiving or taking out that energies, inside your system, your spiritual system. You patamadolo, you always cold. Like I am the worst person because I always have cold feet. I don't love socks, but I love them now because new life. I'm always that person. So I understand that this is me, this is who I am. The reason I have cold feet is because of etc., etc. So you find that our ancestors get to connect to us in different ways, because it's not every time Tina we are able to access them, but Bona they access us 24/7, 365, 7 days a week. That's a lot. Like that's a lot. So sometimes it can get too much overwhelming for a person, because sithola ama information izinto, you get shown things and all these other things, and sometimes it can get a little too much for your system and your spiritual self, and then you lose yourself, and then your moods are out of control. You get angry at everything and everyone. Everything is annoying you, for no apparent reason, you get agitated, you don't want to be around people, you just want to isolate yourself, you just this person. Honey, you will not live with anyone if you're going to carry on like that. You need to understand that when you are feeling like that, you need to reboot yourself. Press reboot a system. So now, how we get to sort out ourselves and reboot ourselves? Remember, we'll say nenzani niyaphahla benithandaza kuhlabwa nikita unwind, and doing all these other things. So now what happens is that you come back to your old life and you're trying to be normal, and you uba isangoma on weekends, but not understanding that this is your new life, this is who you are, and you're supposed to keep up with the losies, every single day of your life. I'm not saying like that the way you corner, but ukhule uthwasa wazi ukuthi kuyahlaba. Keep up with that every year. Do something for your ancestors, or on your ancestors' birthday, and your birthday, or whoever, do something for them. When you feel like it, it's important, unwind, take some time out and be selfish about yourself and chill, because there used to be time and you'd be like, it's the sniff hour, like we are out sniff, and we are like so chilled and having, I'd have my staff, my bear there and whatever, and it would be the way it would be, because you'd get that time where sometimes isn't too much. Because I don't want to lie to you, sitting and listening to people's problems is no child's play. I know this is my purpose and this is what I'm called for, but sometimes it can get a little too much. It's not that I'm sitting on the other side, I don't have problems, I do, but it can get a little too much, because imagine in a day, you get people baza enduminiak, and then lapho you need to go to the malls and you're seeing people's things, you go visit a friend, you're seeing things at that house. So now it can get a little too much for this physical body. So it's important that you take some time out to reboot and rather refresh the system, so that you are able to accept and release all the information, because I'm sure sometimes not everything gets to be said, not all messages get to be delivered. So what you do, you just refresh everything, take out the old, in with the new, even with the thing you're faster, it's not properly explained why we fast. People think siya faster and you starve yourselves, like starve for days and bhadla and but you need to know when you do something with intent. Do something because you know that this is for my spiritual revivement. Like you're reviving yourself and you're cleaning yourself inward, why we access points like water, or you go to pray in a mountain. You be in touch with nature because now you're one with nature. Nature is you are nature. So now you need to, be there in that space, in your element, and release, so that when you go back to your environment, you're a clean slate, you're a clean page. The chats can start, you are a new start, like you're a clean page. But if you're not doing all these things and taking some time out for you, and you like people think like I'm talking every hour, which is simple. No, you are your gift. Once you get to understand that you are your gift yako accessory. No, you are your gift. So things become simpler. You need to know that, I'm not feeling well today. So before I bore anyone, let me take some time out for myself. Don't be this person who goes, namamuts mina nginamahlozi uyophila nobani. If you're going to entertain that and be that kind of a person. And that is why even for people that are not trained, it becomes worse, because bona, they are hard to deal with. They're always frustrated and their lives are more frustrated because kuhlale I'm trying to look for the word. Kuhlale kune blockage. Good transmission, like the transfer, yazini ngizithini ama-message awatransfereki kahle abakakhulu, ngisho you're not trained, you're not equipped how to close, like to close the data for you to like to receive and not to read. So angena kakhulu ama-message, and now you be this person and you type impilo yakho and you're trying to be frustrated, and so now it becomes too much. So that is why it's important that take some time out for yourself and do you, and be you for your ancestors, and understand ukuthi you are walking nabantu abadala, and get that through your mind. Take some time out from izinto. Fasting does not always mean fast food. Just alter your diet and take some time out from worldly things like phones and all these, and just take some time out and uznage wena, so that you take care of your mental health. Because in most cases, all this that I'm mentioning, it has led so many people to mental breakdowns, not understanding that I'm trying to balance my spiritual life and my life, not understanding that this is the one and the same thing. This is you are supposed to sit down with yourself that and this is my life. This is the person I need to embrace and understand, and take some time out for her. She gets overwhelmed when she's in public. She's not always the nicest person to be around, because she gets agitated by receiving people's data. Sometimes like you do wake up and I'm not in the mood like to get people's data. I would look around and be like but once you take some time out for yourself and you understand yourself better, things become easier. So don't, as healers, we heal so much, we give so much, but who is giving back to us, or what is giving back to us? So you need to be to some extent selfish about yourself and look after yourself. Keep it, but so that you don't lose yourself in the process of being too giving to everyone. Because if you were like that, people will just come and take in your life. Because remember, amongst all these things that I've mentioned, then there are people that come into your life that are a lesson, that are a blessing, that are for a season. So that's too much. And then you get the family members that will stress you, and then you get the friends that child. So it's important to understand that balancing everything will make everything easier for you. Be inclined now to know that now I need a break. It's not every day like I'm always like this. Some days are better than the others. Some days I'm not even in the mood to talk, but when that time comes, I'm able to reflect on myself, like, girl, what are you doing? Wake up. Like, you can't do this to yourself, let's do something constructive, whatever works for you. People meditate, they do things, they do all these things. Whatever works for you, find whatever works for you. If you're closer to nature during like this time and it's accessible for you, do you, girl. Do you boo. And as long as we're also udraine wonke lama energies. And that is why it's important, like, for a healer to frequent emanzini. Water is energy, and when you speak to water, water receives. So now when you go there and offload all this tension and all this, it makes more sense, and then you're able to function better. So wow, I've said a mouthful. So don't alter your life because ufundisiwe ukuthi kuba nesikhathi la kulalwa phansi khona, kuba nesikhathi la uhlala phansi khona, kuba nesikhathi where you just have to be itwasa for like a week, udli igobongo, ulale phansi, be that person, ubeki ama-lash phansi nama-wiki, and just be, bask in your spirituality, whatever works for you, do that, mangabe kufuneka iranga for that week, like, do you. We're not here to judge anyone. Different strokes for different folk, and our ancestors are not the same. So I cannot sit here and say, because your gogo loved tea, you must drink tea for 7 days. Or it might not be 7 days. You might decide, this is my birthday month and I'm going back to my roots. Let's go back. Like, we're going back to factory settings. Let's reset. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're doing that for you. So anyway, I hope you'll find the balance and not try to be a normal person, because normal died when uti and you started like acting all these ways and you said, Mina, you then normal died. So you need to embrace who you are and love who you are. Spirituality is beautiful. It has its highs and its lows, but you need to be able to find yourself within everything and embrace who you are and love and accept and honor and respect your ancestors above everything else, and everything else will make sense. I can imagine for couples that are abayizangoma, imagine when this one is moody, guys, take some time out. Like, they too much, especially if you can handle. So you need to handle your things. But anyway, thank you so much for viewing my video. I am probably Thokozani.